Did anybody of you see Hacksaw Ridge? If you're a believing Christian and you want to see a good movie that actually strongly represents your faith in an honest way, I would highly recommend Hacksaw Ridge. Now, normally, I am not a big fan of your Christian films. I usually don't see them. You know, God's Not Dead 1 and 2, I didn't see them, to be quite honest with you. Why? If I do see them, I see them with the same eyes as the world. I see them for camp value. Because they usually aren't very good at movies, point A. And point B, they usually do a terrible job of dramatizing faith. You know, they dramatize in a way that's just way too obvious and silly. Well, you don't believe that Jesus is the Lord, you know. And they try to dramatize faith in a way that's really just pedantic and doesn't really work for me and for a lot of people. So normally I'm not a big fan of them. This one is different. Why is this one different? Because it does something really powerful. The first half of the movie is not great, I gotta say. Honestly, if the first half of the movie were of the same caliber as the second half, it would be a near masterpiece. There is no denying that Mel Gibson is a really powerfully talented director because he can capture, in the second half when you're watching the movie, he does things that, you know, his battle scenes, as bloody and violent as they are gripping. They are intense. They pull at you. And that's a really good thing. You don't watch them neutral. You watch them going, oh my gosh, So you really get some powerful sense of the violence and the carnage of war. Now, it requires talent to do that. You know, you can go watch a schlocky, violent film, and that does not happen. You don't feel any emotional pull whatsoever. You know, and I watch hundreds of them, so I know that. But what he does for you, the Christian, that is fantastic, that I've never seen done in a movie before, or at least never quite like this, is the God. Now, there may be spoilers, so if you're going to see the movie, you know, turn off and walk away. But what he does that is fantastic is he powerfully dramatizes the guy's faith. And I've never really seen it done in a movie before. It makes it crystal clear when the guy is doing what he did. He's saving the lives of his, you know, of his soldiers, of his comrades. And he's saying, please, Lord, just one more. And he's praying to God the whole time, saying, please, Lord, just one more. It is a powerful dramatization of faith in action. I have never, ever seen that in a movie before. I personally found it really moving. I found that as realistic a depiction of faith working as I've ever seen in a film. And the beauty of it is that after he saves the lives of his soldiers, the other soldiers seem to, they now have this sense of awe or reverence about him. They have this sense of, like, not just respect. They kind of know that God helped him, that God worked through this guy. I've never seen that in a movie before. It was beautifully done. Now, like I say, if the first half of the film was as good as the second half of the film, it'd be a near masterpiece, because the last 45 minutes of this film are, as far as I was concerned, just flawless, great, jaw-dropping, really powerful to watch. The first hour is borderline boring. The conflict when he's in the bunk with the guys who reject him because he's a Christian, he doesn't want to carry a gun. If he had made that real and gripping, it would be a near masterpiece, but he didn't. It just, I don't know, it just doesn't get inside you. But from the moment the battles start, the battle scenes start to get really deep inside of you, and the dramatization of faith is like nothing I've ever seen in a movie before. And I gotta say, it was just beautiful. It was beautiful to watch, because it was real to me. You know, I know that experience of, please God, just let this one thing happen. And then somehow, miraculously, that thing happens. So you keep going, you keep walking. I know that experience. And that's what this movie captures better than anything I've ever seen on film. So, if you are someone who wants to see your faith dramatized in a good way, I highly recommend it. It's very violent. You know, you're gonna see a lot of carnage, but that carnage was real. That was part of what happened. So that's that.